back, everybody, to another episode of the GameCast NewsCast. I am Snowy, otherwise known as Count Fracula. We don't have Vox with us this week. His non-profit thingy that he does things for have made him very busy. So let's just say hello to Max as normal. Say hello, Max.
Hello, Max.
And joining us this week, we have two guests to make up the numbers. And joining us for the second time, we have Wesley from the social media team.
Hello.
Good, that was well done. And joining us as well from the Let's Play team for the first time, we have Machin.
Yo, hi, hello.
Indeed. Right, that's all the people that are involved in this podcast. So why don't we get on with some news? So today we will start with some news that's sort of news and sort of not news. To me, it was news that was... It wasn't confirmed,
Obvious.
but it was... Yeah, exactly. Not confirmed, but it was quite obvious it was going to happen. But Batman... The Arkham series of Batman games is officially, well, it might as well be officially dead. And this comes as Kevin Conroy, the best voice of Batman, said he was doing a Q&A panel at Wizard World Nashville, and he said he was asked a question about them, and he said he was shocked, stating, "I can't believe they're not going to do another one." So, apparently the Arkham series is dead and we knew fuck all about it. Until now.
Well, didn't Rocksteady say a while ago they're working on a different game now, like a new superhero game or something, and everyone thinks it's going to be Superman?
No, I hope not. There were rumours of a game focused on Damian Wayne, who is the son of Bruce Wayne, and Talia al Ghul, who also plays... He's also Red Robin, I think, specifically, in the comics. So they might have done a game that was like Batman, but it was him as Batman instead of Bruce Wayne.
I could see the series coming back later on, though. Like, in a bit. But...
This is the entertainment business. No franchise or thing can stay dead. Nothing. So of course it will come back. They did a prequel series on fucking Psycho, the film. They've done a prequel series.
Damn.
This is true.
Wesley, do you have any opinions on the Batman Arkham series?
I never got into Batman Arkham. Or any of the Batman series.
That's a shame.
It is, because...
The first two are very good games.
Everyone has told me that, and from reliable people whom I trust in the gaming world have told me that, and I have never picked it up. And the problem now is it's too old.
Yeah, I can see that. I'd still say City is worth a try, but the thing is, if you don't really care for Batman in general, you may not, click with them. You'll probably think they're fine,
like Batman.
but, you probably won't enjoy them a whole lot.
I still say Asylum holds up. It's a very good game.
It is good, but I think City, just perfects it so much that for a newcomer, they can just kind of skip over it.
It takes away a couple of the problems with it, but it also adds a couple on.
Like the open world?
So it feels more bloated. Yeah, it feels bloated.
I liked City better than Asylum. I thought Asylum was kind of repetitive and boring after a while.
There's a lot of just beating up the same dudes, but at the same time, I still enjoy
Yeah.
Yeah, it works because it's shorter and more focused. But I could see where you... I could see where you get it repetitive, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the series kind of went downhill after City. Dare I say
No,
it?
that's the general opinion of it. Because Origins was a spin-off that wasn't made by them. And I didn't even play that one. I don't even count it. I forget it exists.
And it was also balked on PC like Arkham Knight was, but didn't get enough backlash to actually get fixed.
Yeah. Well, technically neither did Arkham Knight.
Well, it got mostly fixed. But WB, being WB, said actually when they were doing Arkham Origins, they said, we're prioritising DLC. So, yes, I can definitely understand why the Batman Arkham series of games is coming to an end, because out of the 5 games, if you include Arkham Origins Blackgate, which was a 2.5D side-scrolling thing, which was actually quite good.
Oh, really?
It came out on PC and 3DS. Weirdly, it was on 3DS.
Interesting.
I don't know why, but it was. But it's quite good. So yeah, they've got a 60% hit rate on the games, really being, in my opinion, good. So they definitely dropped off after City.
Yeah, but the 2 that were good are very good.
They are, admittedly. So yes, Batman Arkham series is pretty dead. I'm not surprised. I don't think anybody else is surprised, unless I'm wrong. Is anyone else surprised? No, didn't think so. So has anybody here, in out of the 4 of us, played Mario 64?
Oh yeah.
I
Played the shit out of it.
So yes, Super Mario 64 is a game that most of us have played. In fact, pretty much everyone has played, and a lot of people's opinion on Mario 64 was very nostalgia tinged. But it's generally considered to be quite good, even though I don't know if it holds up.
I think it holds up pretty well. I've played it here and then, like recently.
Opinion.
Is it divided? That surprises me, actually.
It is. Yeah.
I've never really heard the other side of it.
It broke the mold, I think, for the original Mario. So it was different. They did it a little bit different.
Oh, it broke the mold for a 3D game in general.
Right. And I think
yes,
if you go for the nostalgia angle, it's not like the original, it's not like Mario was. But then if you go for like the innovation, it's like, wow, they really upped their game with Mario 64. So I can see where it's split.
I suppose, yeah, you can view it as sort of a bit like the original Crash Bandicoot. The original doesn't hold up, the remake does. As it's sort of, like, it did a lot of good things for the gaming industry, but it might not necessarily hold up now. It was a single-player game, obviously, and it was also...
Wait a minute, can you play local multiplayer?
No. There was multiplayer stuff in the DS, like, kind of remake, I think.
But that was sort of different stuff.
It was different.
Not like, yeah. But now, however, if you wanted to play Mario 64 on your PC in multiplayer, you have about 5 minutes to do it before Nintendo take it down.
I'm honestly surprised it's still up
already.
Now. Yeah.
Yeah. I might download it just because.
It would be interesting. Yeah, it's 24 players too. Which is like...
That's quite a few, yeah.
Yeah, and now there's all the characters in it too.
Yeah, but what would you do in the multiplayer? Like
exactly. I don't think really anything.
Game in multiplayer?
That's what's confusing.
Like, it doesn't really add anything to the game. I think it's just there for fun.
It doesn't. Yeah, it is.
Which is cool. I would try that out. That'd make like fun video content.
Yeah. According to the PC Gamer article, it doesn't add anything specific to the game, but it just adds the functionality of letting more than one person play it at the same time. That's it. There's no.
And it goes to 24 too.
Edition. Yeah.
Which is hilarious because they could have just done like 4.
Yeah. Could have done 64.
I think that's what the DS one did.
Well, the DS one, it had you switch between characters, but it was still single player, and then there were like multiplayer modes that were separate from the main game, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't think there was any multiplayer that was added to like the main game at all. Whereas this seems to be that, but only that.
Mm-hmm.
The game doesn't need it, but it's just kind of funny. It's a funny mod.
Exactly. And they've added other characters that you can actually play as. You can play as Yoshi, Mario, Luigi, a Toad, Wario, Waluigi, Peach, and Rosalina.
Oh, nice.
From the Mario Galaxy series. Yeah. I don't quite know why.
She's pretty much been in every other game though since. She's pretty into the series now.
Yeah, everybody's pretty into Rosalina as well.
If you want to download this Mario 64 online, you can, and I have done that, so I might experience it myself at some point soon. Let's move on. Who remembers the NES Mini and how annoyingly tiny the production number was on those?
Oh, I think that's still fresh in people's minds, to be honest.
Is it? Why is that? It's almost as if it didn't happen long ago, and it's really fucking annoying.
I still want one.
I know, I still want one, but you can't have one.
Well, hey,
There's
you'll
no
be getting one.
One's left. Until now!
Yeah.
Nintendo have announced that they, in Europe at least I've seen, are going to relaunch the NES Mini and have it able to be bought again. Who fucking Ray?
That is pretty great. And they also announced that, well, I don't know if announce is the right word, but they also came out and said that they learned from their mistakes with the NES Mini, and they're being very careful with the SNES Mini this time around in terms of producing a lot more and stuff, but we'll see if that actually happens. Let's be honest.
Old Reggie said that they don't want us to have to pay $300 and something to get a hold of one.
Yeah, and
Reggie wouldn't lie to us.
No, it's not that they'll lie,
Reggie's
it's
an
that
honest man.
it still might not be enough.
Yeah.
And honestly,
because
Reggie
Nintendo's
kind of
I
says...
believe in Reggie.
He just kind of says things sometimes. I do think they're going to try to. I just don't know if they'll be able to. That's my thing.
They will be able to. It's a question of whether they're competent enough to.
Yeah. So,
Or if they're going to announce another version of the fucking 3DS instead.
He did say in the interview that they're going to be pushing out more waves of it and in greater numbers with each wave.
yeah, but if it's a wave, the same things are still going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to get bought up by scalpers each time, and that's not useful.
It should, in my opinion, it should be a constant flow of them. It shouldn't come out in batches. But, you know, Nintendo loves their publicity from having a...
Artificial demand.
Yeah, an artificial demand of goods.
Exactly. I mean, everyone, for whatever reason, wants these things. It's nostalgia. And
yeah, no, it totally is.
yeah, why would you stop manufacturing them? It's just, you're just printing money. But
So
like
they
Nathan
said they
just don't want
didn't
to.
expect that many people to want it with the NES Mini. I remember them saying that, and I was just kind of like,
Have
all
they-
right.
Have they ever
Sure.
talked to gamers?
Yeah.
Well, obviously not, or they wouldn't keep making the same games over and over, but...
I mean, especially with the SNES, it's got Earthbound on it. That alone is enough for most people to pay
That's true.
$79.99.
That's true.
I have that on my 3DS. That's a good game.
Yeah,
I'll have to
it's
play it.
it's arguably one of the best
Games.
RPGs of all time. Yeah, games of all time at that. But you know, it's incredible, and you know, I want it in a way that I don't want to have to have it illegally.
Yeah, games like that, it's
Yeah.
really nice to just have an official version and just play it.
Yeah, Earthbound is on the list of this, so you would get Earthbound.
Yeah, I'm just disappointed that what is it? Isn't on there.
Yeah, what is on the SNES Mini?
That Chrono Trigger wasn't included.
Star Fox 2, Super Mario World, Super Mario Kart, Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past,
That alone, that was right there.
FZ, whatever that is, Super
F-Zero?
Metroid, Street Fighter 2, that's the one, F-Zero, Punch-Out, Castlevania,
Whatever that
Castlevania 4,
Punch Out?
Donkey Kong Country, Mega Man X. Hey, I'm calling back to old jokes already.
That was the first
Kirby
episode.
Superstar. It was Final Fantasy III, Kirby's Dream Course, Yoshi's Island, which I have on Game Boy Advance. Actually, Yoshi's Island, it's very good.
Yeah, it is.
Super Mario RPG, Contra 3, Secrets of Mana, Earthbound, and Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
Wow, that's a
I had that
fucking
one.
list right there.
Yes, the NES Mini and the SNES Mini, let's just pull it back. One is being restocked next year to pretty much everyone's relief, because that should have happened ages ago and Nintendo are fucking idiots. And the other one is actually going to be sensibly stocked. Presumably. Or so they say.
And
So
that one's
we'll see.
coming later this month, right? The
No,
SNES
it's in
Mini
November, isn't it?
Oh, is
says.
it?
Yes, the SNES Mini releases on the 29th.
of September or November?
Yes, sir. September.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's the same day as Cuphead.
what? That's so soon.
Yep.
Oh, Cuphead. That's a thing that's coming soon. Yay!
Yeah.
I want that.
I want Cuphead.
It's gonna be
I
a
want Cuphead
retro-
more than a SNES Mini.
It'd be a retro Friday.
Mm,
That's cool.
Aw. Cuphead looks amazing.
Cuphead
It's the
looks
most
so
gorgeous
cool.
game.
Yeah, I cannot wait for
Yeah.
that game. I'm getting that day one.
Anyway, let's move on to a subject that's going to be interesting.
The main
If
story of
nothing
the day.
else. Yeah. Oh god. So PewDiePie, you might know who he is. He's a small YouTuber. You've probably not heard of him. Got 56 million subscribers now.
7.
Fucking hell.
Dude, I was watching his live counter this morning. It goes up like every 3 seconds. Sometimes in like 3s and 2s.
Do you think bots subscribe to him?
Probably.
That's a wild accusation that I have no proof of. But anyway,
Oh, I'm sure.
not that I think he would, have paid for that, but
No,
yeah, most
but-
definitely.
And I doubt it's even the majority. But I'll bet you
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like a couple 100,000. But yeah.
probably, yeah. Anyway,
Mhm.
so this guy was streaming PUBG the other day, as you do, perfectly normal thing to do. And he got killed during the game. That's a perfectly normal thing to happen. Perfectly normal thing. He got a bit angry as well. That's a perfectly normal thing. Perfectly normal thing to happen. You get a bit angry when you get killed in a game. He started sort of, he went on a bit of an outburst. That's a perfectly normal thing. Sensible thing to happen. Perfectly normal thing. He then used the N-word. What the fuck?
Yep. Now,
The thing is,
go ahead.
if that was a word that was a normal part of his vocabulary and vernacular, as it is with some people, usually not pasty white people, then I would understand. But it is not a part, I assume, part of his normal vocabulary.
I'm going to assume it is.
You have no proof of that.
You're right. I said assume, but no. But my thing is that yeah, I've seen a lot of the defense on his side is like he comes from Sweden, and that's in European countries in general where the people are majority white, if not 100% white, and that word really isn't seen in the same way as it is here, which makes sense to someone who no let me finish that.
I don't agree that that's always the case, especially not over here in Britain.
Oh, you're saying that there are people that are still very sensitive to it?
An
In Britain,
epithet
they are, yeah.
is
Because we're
yeah. It's not appropriate regardless of where you're at. And if you are
Exactly.
No.
as
That's my thing is that I've seen that argument. And I think that those people are stretching because my thing is no, I wasn't done. I'm sorry. I've seen that argument and I get where these people are coming from, but that doesn't make it right. Especially when you are the biggest YouTuber in existence and you have a following of 57 million subscribers and every single thing you do, the entire gaming industry is looking at you, and a lot of your fan base is kids, and when you're that big, you have a responsibility, in my opinion, to just be very careful with what you do, because you are leading a bunch of people. Again, 57 million people. Say even half of those subs are inactive. That's still a fuck ton of
27 million people, yeah.
Yep. And it's just
That's
there's
not 27 million.
there's no reason for that at all. And my other thing where I was saying earlier where I believe it's a part of his vernacular is because in his apology video, he says it slipped up, and he was saying a lot of people, he plays with a bunch of other people who say this stuff, and he kind of just got slipped into it. He kind of got sucked into it. And I play with a lot of people that say a lot of things. I have never said that word in that way, ever.
No.
And he said it was a slip up. When's the last time you slipped up on a word you never say?
I
Please
don't
tell
just
me.
suddenly, in the middle of conversation, go, corn!
Yeah,
It doesn't
exactly. Even when you're angry, you don't that's not something that just happens.
No.
From my
unless I'm angry
experience.
and listening to corn.
Exactly, but you don't say the N-word just if you've never said it before.
No.
Out of anger. Especially when it's not relevant at all to what you're doing. Exactly.
No,
you don't say it in general.
He was trying to make a joke. It missed the mark so badly.
And, like, this is after what happened earlier this year, too. Which is...
No, that's what makes it worse. He should have fucking learned.
Yeah. And he says he says that in his apology video as well. He's like, I should be better. I know that there's a lot of people watching me, and, like, I have, like, the eyes of the world on me and stuff. I mean, he doesn't say that word for word, but that's, like, the gist of what he says. And... I don't know. It sounded, when I watched the video, it's only like a minute and something long. I think a minute and a half, whereas his old apology video was like 10 minutes. And this one, it just kind of seemed like he was sorry he got like caught. He was really just kind of like, he's just like, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that, this and that. He was just kind of saying it. It didn't really seem like he meant it much. I could be wrong on that. Like, I know Sarah took it differently, but,
Sarah seems to think that he was being sincere. I've not watched it yet.
I think...
particularly plan on watching it. So.
I think... I would watch it, because it's only like a minute 30. It's really quick. But, I mean, I don't want to say he's entirely insincere, because I don't think he was, but I just got vibes that it was a lot more sorry I got caught and I'm in trouble for this than anything. Like, I don't think that he wants to be a bad example, though. Like, or anything like that. I think he does want to be a good example and stuff, but it's just like, he's just because you want to doesn't mean you
do
are.
A very good job of it, does it? I
think that he doesn't give a shit. I mean, regardless if he's right or wrong, if he's sorry or not, people are still subscribed to him. People are still watching him, and he's still getting paid. Oh. Exactly. Bad publicity is still publicity. If they, as in the YouTube community, if the YouTube community reacted as harshly as the Steam community to a bad review, or what were we talking about that earlier? Whenever you review bomb a game just because you don't like the practices of the developer?
Yeah.
What if they did that to YouTubers? Like, he just all of a sudden has 1 million dislikes.
See,
then he would be sorry.
Yeah, that may well happen. I think in some instances it does happen, because there are some YouTubers who got convicted of sexual assault. They still make videos and they just get dislike bombed constantly.
But not PewDiePie. PewDiePie.
No, because PewDiePie has got like the people who are actually fans of him are fucking rabid.
Yes, they are. And again, a lot of them are children.
Shit. That's what I'm saying. He doesn't give a shit.
But he should give a shit, because not
he
only is he affecting his own livelihood, he's affecting he's affecting the livelihood of every single other person who makes money off YouTube.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's this kind of shit
that gets advertisers scared, because he caused the fucking apocalypse in the first place a few months ago.
Yep.
Now he's going to cause another one if he's not fucking careful, and he might kill Let's Play content, because we're going to move on to that thing now.
Wesley, while I think you may be right, he maybe doesn't care at all. I do think that some part of him does, but I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he ended up coming out and saying, you know what, I actually don't care. Like, again, I'm only sorry because I got caught kind of stuff. But it's just, when you are that big, you just have the responsibility to be careful with what you say. Like, that should be a no-brainer, in my opinion.
Here's the thing, Max.
He obviously never ascribed to the Spider-Man ethos.
Max, you are a nice guy, and you feel obligated morally to not use bad words, especially to your audience. Some people whose lives aren't affected, whether they do that stuff or not, and can get away with it, are generally just not nice. They don't. I don't think they feel the same way you do. So I don't think he cares that he has a moral responsibility to not use bad taste or bad words or whatever.
Well,
that's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, I know. And you know what sucks about that is that makes all of what we're doing and a lot of people on YouTube and everything, it makes us look worse. Because imagine if, like, I know this is kind of a broad comparison, but in a way it isn't because of the level of influence. Imagine if, like, Obama did something like that. People would not have let that stand. Just, like, at all.
Obama would have been fucking assassinated, verbally assassinated for that.
Or like any big influencer in the world, in anything, in any form of entertainment or media or politics or anything in general. Like if we want to be treated seriously in any way, shape, or form, like this is not helping us at all.
No.
This is a different platform, though. It's new. It's relatively new. YouTube, as long as it's been around, is still, in comparison to the other forms of media and the other positions of power, I don't know if that's the correct term, but
yeah,
when you're in the position of, when you have a lot of eyes on you, you're in a position of power to influence. And this is a new medium. So, I mean, people don't really look at YouTubers the way they look at politicians or
they don't
religious figures.
They? That's another argument for another topic, I guess.
Should and do are two different things. Exactly.
Yeah. That could be a pocket edition topic.
Hey, that would be a good one.
Yes. Back on topic, though.
Yeah.
The problem with all of this is that it could very well affect a lot of things in YouTube. I can personally think that regulations on content, like proper enforced regulations, will come up soon, not just the stupid automated, not advertiser-friendly ones.
Yeah. I honestly think that Adpocalypse is a transition until they can figure out something else. I don't think the Adpocalypse is going to stay, but that doesn't necessarily mean that their solution will be better.
What I think it's going to be is it's going to keep going until YouTube stop automating the process of deeming something non-ad friendly.
But yeah,
that's silly.
Wouldn't that would be like their solution then, would it not?
Yeah, well, you'd think.
Yeah,
but
you would think.
What could also happen is that Let's Play content could die because of this. And let's get on to why that might be and all of the things surrounding that. So, there's a game called Firewatch. It's developed by a studio called Campo Santo, which is a weird name. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. But they made the game Firewatch, and in response to PewDiePie's incident, let's say it that way, they DMCA takedowned PewDiePie's Firewatch content, and they plan to do it on any future Campo Santo games that PewDiePie tries to cover. Now, welcome to a really, really moral sticky wicket.
Yeah. Well, there's a bit more too. They're trying to reach out to other developers to get them to do the same thing.
Yeah, they are. And I mean, these takedowns, it's the same as when any other sort of 2-bit hack dev does it to Jim Sterling or someone else like that, or Total Biscuit. It's a very spurious claim. It's not false, technically, but it's spurious.
Mm.
And my worry is that PewDiePie tries to fight this actually in court, like it actually goes to court, and he loses, then what happens? Because that basically, that would then set a precedent, because this is what everyone's been afraid to do before now. No one's taken it to court because no one wants to set a precedent.
Yeah.
And the precedent might be set if he loses, that Let's Play content can just be taken down immediately by anybody. If they don't like what's being said, then the developer can just go, no, and just take it down. Like, so you could then basically only have Let's Plays that were praising the game.
Snowy,
That's what it could lead to.
I'm gonna tag you in a tweet thread right now that Total Biscuit said. No, it's interesting. Total Biscuit actually said this yesterday on Twitter, or 2 days ago, and I don't know how legit this is, but Total Biscuit is a reasonable source. So, but still, take this with a grain of salt. He tweets, spoke to an actual lawyer. Opinion was Campo Santo is 100% within legal rights. DMCA applies. LPs are not fair use. Apparently, just no one did it. This is where my worry
is coming from.
Yeah, but apparently it was always okay.
This is where my worry is coming from.
But just no one did it. Just no one does it because there was no reason to.
Yes. Well, I think also the reason they're saying it is, one, Let's Plays aren't apparently transformative enough.
Yeah.
And two, it wasn't a critical review. This isn't like the Jim Sterling Digital Homicide situation, where they probably wouldn't have won anyway because because he was doing a review style thing.
Yeah.
Like his Squirty Plate was a Let's Play / review of the Slaughtering Grounds.
Plus, those
yes,
devs came after him for harassing, for them saying he's harassing them. That is a bit different.
Of bullshit. But yes, like, but yeah, there's a lot of reasons why that didn't work, and there's a lot of reasons why this one could work, and I really don't want it to.
I will also add, there is another person who does YouTube videos that is a lawyer. His name's Leonard French.
Yes, I'm aware of this.
And he specifically focuses on DMCA and stuff like that. Or he has also made statements about the PewDiePie claims.
Oh, has he? Okay, I'm quite interested to hear what he has to say.
Yes, he has, and he has stated that he disagrees and that the DMCA is not going to stick because this isn't a claim for that.
Interesting.
So there's another side from another lawyer who that's what he does.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, it's a big gray area.
Interesting.
It always has been.
It is. It's a very big grey area, and nobody's wanted to set the precedent, but now because it's PewDiePie, he might think, I'll just do this, and then he might lose, which would be awful. Because that would kill a lot of YouTube's revenue, just dead right there.
Yeah, it would. That would suck for all of us.
The developer of Firewatch, they said they regret the method but stand by the choice to keep Firewatch off of his channel. They've made a choice not to have Firewatch associated with PewDiePie's channel anymore because he is not because he's the most offensive person, but because he's the biggest. I wish there's a clear way to say we don't want our work associated with hate speech, and even accidental hate speech, if that's what it was. I regret using a DMCA takedown. Censorship is not the best thing for speech, and if I had a way to contact PewDiePie and take the video down, I probably would. He's a bad fit for us, and we're a bad fit for him. So they had good intentions, but not the right method to do it.
Do you?
Go
ahead.
So I agree with what the developers are doing. And this goes back to our earlier conversation. PewDiePie has no repercussions. I think someone said this in chat. So PewDiePie has no repercussions for his actions because, back to my opinion,
he definitely have repercussions.
He doesn't give a shit because he doesn't have anything that's injurious enough for him to affect his paycheck, I guess, or his view count or whatever. So this is an effort to do something significant enough to change behavior. However, I disagree. Going back to what Mention said, they should not weaponize DMCA. I mean, should not be.
No, I think
they're going about it the wrong way. They're doing the right thing, but in the wrong way.
I totally agree. I think, yes, they have got the right idea. They should not want to be associated with PewDiePie, but filing a DMCA takedown to do that thing is maybe not the best idea. And as a response to this, Firewatch has now been review bombed on Steam. And yes, this is presumably by PewDiePie fans, the awful rabid ones. And now, so Firewatch's reviews stand out. I'm just going to look at the store because this news article's already out of date. Firewatch on
Steam
is
an amazing game, by the way. I don't care.
I've heard, but I've not played it. Yes.
Also, guys, at the bottom of this article, there's a link to another PC Gamer article that came out 4 hours ago that says, lawyers explain why Campo Santo's takedown of PewDiePie's video is legal.
Yes, it is semi-legal, yeah. Firewatch got review bombed on Steam as a response. Its overall standing is still very positive, but its recent reviews have gone down to mixed. And it's just people going, you know why? Poor game ended, which ruined story. Also, devs support censorship. PewDiePie did nothing wrong. You're wrong, but okay.
So this goes back to what we were saying. He has no repercussions. So the people that are trying to do something about it are the ones that are getting hurt. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I will say I highly doubt that all of the review bomb is just rabid PewDiePie fans. I know that there are a lot of people that are very upset.
Of them are obviously literally just people not recommending the game. However, a lot of these are the devs are social justice warriors.
Well, no. What I mean is, I know a lot of people are probably also review bombing it because of the fact that they're weaponizing DMCA.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
I'd agree with
That rubs people the wrong way.
It does.
In general.
It rubbed me the wrong way when they did it as well. I was just like, oh no, maybe that wasn't the best thing to do.
Yeah.
Because it is bad for others, the other content creators that are legitimately trying to entertain and advertise for the developer. It's free advertisement.
I like GameCast.
Right?
Pluggo.
I definitely disagree with anyone that says he did nothing wrong, because that's just batshit crazy to say.
But no, yeah, it's really even if it was an accident, even if he didn't mean it, it's still like bad. It's still something that needs to be dealt with, in my opinion. One thing that does kind of bother me though about what the Campo Santo dev said is that he says if I had a way to contact PewDiePie and take the video down, I probably would. I think they could have contacted PewDiePie without question.
You wouldn't have fucking responded.
Yeah. Wait, you're saying he wouldn't have?
You have to have a email attached to your YouTube, so they can easily contact him through that email.
Well, I think he would have responded to something like this after what just happened if he had contacted them. And if not, that could have been a much better story for them. Then they could have came out and said, we even contacted
exactly.
More in the right there, because they're like, we tried to contact, and then this is our only resort. But okay, yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, but I don't know. Because Machen, you said this the other night, and I've been thinking about that a lot. You were saying that it's possible they're kind of just trying to jump on this a bit for like publicity, and I don't entirely disagree with that, honestly.
Yeah. Because they were talking about a game that's supposed to be being released pretty soon for them or something like that.
Yeah, and like Firewatch was a year ago. You know,
get rid of you can't review Firewatch or any upcoming Campo Santo games. Hint, hint.
Because it's like no one would have made any connection between the two. No one, not one person, would have made a connection between PewDiePie and Firewatch or any of that. Maybe if it was new, yeah, but from a year ago, no.
But still, going back to the whole PewDiePie thing, publicity is publicity.
No, you're right.
Whether good or bad. Because obviously, PewDiePie is saying, racial hate speech, and his view count goes up. So,
it's because he won't be punished by YouTube. That's what they need.
And
to
he still
YouTube
won't.
Themselves need to step in and punish him, but they won't because he's their biggest earner, and that's just going to put them more. That's going to put them further down the drain. It hurts YouTube to not punish him at this stage, but the fact is they're not going to.
YouTubers, not count. You're on the right track, but I think YouTubers,
why should we have to punish him?
YouTube,
the thing is,
need to punish
YouTube.
him.
It's down to them. They need to do something about hate speech if they're gonna demonetize.
And this is why it gets away with that shit
because it's got the word "fuck" in it. Why the fuck aren't they punishing him for using the N-word on a goddamn stream? Because he's their biggest earner. That's why.
Exactly.
Even though it's gonna tank them.
It hurts their bottom line by ridiculous numbers to demonetize his videos.
Especially because 90% of the people on YouTube are not doing anything good for YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, they're not helping the platform.
So, obviously, YouTube's not going to step in because they're kill their earnings.
They should.
So, should and do, two different things. It's another podcast. So, that's why I said it's our responsibility not to feed him.
Yeah, no, you're
If
right.
YouTubers are against it, I mean, somebody has to do it. It's not my job to police PewDiePie. It's not, but I can not support him and can encourage others not to support him.
It's nice to see that people aren't really just letting this slide like the first one. Like the first one, people outcried and then they kind of just forgot about it. This time around, it seems more and more people are against it. Even though, yeah, he'll probably come out fine at the end. Plus, even back then, one of his responses to all that happened was that he said old media is afraid of influencers and stuff. They don't understand new media, which is interesting. And Wesley, that feeds into your theory on that he just doesn't give a shit. Because it's like, if that's the way he sees things, then yeah, he probably doesn't give a shit.
The mainstream media, they all hate us. Follow me for the real news.
I don't entirely disagree, but he's not the best representation of new media, though. It's just coming out of his mouth is kind of ironic, in my opinion.
It makes it sound incredibly disingenuous, amongst other things.
So, whenever PewDiePie started making videos about, I don't know, whenever it was, a few years ago.
Yeah, not that
my
long
son
ago,
showed
to be
me.
honest.
He's like, hey, Dad, I watch PewDiePie. This guy's hilarious. He plays, I don't know, whatever the hell he was playing, some Minecraft ripoff. And I said, all right, let me see, let me watch it. I genuinely thought he had a mental illness. And it was,
It is the character he plays is someone who's feels very damaged. But yeah, I get where you're coming from.
And that is what people like, I guess. I don't know. It blew my mind. I watched like 2 PewDiePie videos, and then I'm like, yeah, this kid needs some serious help. And then I never watched PewDiePie again.
That's hilarious.
Brilliant. I used to watch him a little bit.
Same.
Seriously, but
I watched him more because people
popular.
talked about him. Yeah, exactly. That's why I kind of watch. I tuned in every once in a while. He has like sometimes okay videos. Like literally last week I was on his channel, I think. And he had a video. It was like how I grew big on YouTube or something. It was like tips. And I was like, okay, coming from him, that's actually would be interesting. And yeah, he had some genuinely good tips. And he didn't make a joke the entire time. He just like talked for 12 minutes and it was like a normal video. And I was like, hey, look at that.
Yeah, shame he doesn't normally fucking do that.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, he can do that. And again, it was actually like most of the tips I already knew because I researched this stuff all the time. But like for a newer YouTuber, it's genuinely good stuff. But he was literally like, don't copy me. Like, I already fill a niche. Fill a new niche. Find something that you do best and work from there. And I was like, damn, good job, PewDiePie. And then this happened.
So let's see. Don't act like I have a mental illness. Don't say racial and hateful slurs on stream. Okay. He's got that covered.
Yeah.
He's cornered the market.
PewDiePie's a dick. Moving on. Da-da-da-da, we live in a fun world. So that's the end of another GameCast newscast. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give us a like, a subscribe, or a share, whatever you fancy. Our social links are down in the description, and you can find a link to our Discord where you can join in some lovely, lovely chat. I'd like to say thank you to all my co-hosts. Thank you very much, Max, Machin, and Wesley.
You're welcome.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
And now for the shameless self-promo thing. Machin, where can you be found on the internet?
You can find me at Machin Gaming on YouTube. You can find me on Twitter at Machin Gaming Bro. And that's really about it. But I haven't made anything on YouTube in a while. It's coming soon. Don't worry. Subscribe anyway.
Wesley, where can you be found on the interwebs?
The interwebs. Check us out at earlyaccessgaming.net. That is where we talk about indie games and Kickstarters. A bunch of cool new stuff that you probably don't know about.
Cool. Okay. And Max, where can you be found on the information superhighway?
I can be found anywhere on the internet under the moniker Maximal, Maxemole. The best places to contact me are on Twitter or on the GameCast Discord, because I basically live in there nowadays. So, yeah.
Cool. And finally, me. I can be found on Twitch at twitch.tv/metalnerddude. I can be found doing the news and whatever on Gamecast in the Gamecast Discord. I can be found on Twitter at Snowy Duffield. And my name on that is Count Fracula, 2 aces of spades on either side, because I'm still mourning Lemmy nearly 2 years after he died. So, that's it for the GameCast Newscast this week. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. And we will see you next time for more news-related rambling garbage. Thanks very much. Goodbye. Say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Can't wait to edit this.